sure, there's an element of a lot of vocal groups in what we do. We are big, we're big Beach Boys fans. Roger and I are right now writing with, well, not right now, but we were writing with Brian Wilson for his next solo album. So we've always been big Beach Boys fans, or Bulgarian Women's Choir, or any number of like vocal groups, the Carpenters, even the Zombies, So it's vocals are the neat thing about vocals is that it's everybody has a different voice. Everybody has, you have if you sang, you would have a completely different voice than the way I sound. And when four individuals sing, obviously the blend becomes something completely unique. It can't help but be unique because every individual voice is unique. So the Queen sound is based on four voices that are incredibly unique, and they create the Queen sound. We could never recreate the Queen sound, not even if we tried.
Well, obviously what happens is you get the sort of, Bohemian Rhapsody style vocals of Hush, and then in Joining the Fan Club you have the We Are the Champion kind of riff. And, those are two very identifiable elements.
Right,
and perhaps those two elements taint those first two tracks to the uninitiated. But certainly there's a lot more to Joining a Fan Club than just that one riff there. So. Right.
I mean, it becomes this game, or it has sometimes become a game of spot the influence, and I just think that it's kind of, the reviews for the most part have been really glowing reviews, and we've been really appreciative of them. But some of the reviewers, they just proceed to give it. There was a really positive review that I read, but the entire first paragraph, it was like, it was written like a recipe, and it says take 2 parts this, 2 parts this, and 1 quart this, and wait a second, is that what this guy's supposed to be doing? Is he supposed to be giving us a laundry list of what makes this up? It's like he should be writing, labels for soup cans or something that, he can put all the chemicals that were in the soup. You forget that what you're supposed to be relating to people is art, and it's music, and you should be not being so clinical about it.
Well, does it really surprise you, though, Andy, that some low-rent hack is going to say, well, you boys are very clever, but I saw right through you. And let me tell you how I did it.
Yeah.
So, there's no...
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
There's no real surprise there.
Yeah.
The guy that put together the questions, which by the way are few, which is why I have to ad-lib here mostly, mentions XTC, because that's another band that has done extremely well in Japan, in spite of very limited success in their home country and even in the USA. In fact, they do better in America than they do in the UK, and I think they do better in Japan than they do in America.
Yeah.
And he likens you to them because they're also sort of a connoisseurs band, and people travel for miles to pick up their B-sides and stuff like that. Were you guys XTC fans at all?
I'll tell you, I was a big fan. I really liked the Skylarking album when it came out, but Roger was really a big fan, and I know that Tim, the bass player, is a fan of XTC. I have a lot of respect for those guys, but do I sit up late at night, listening to the album, smoking pot, listening to it in headphones? No, I don't. I don't really. Not that I can think that I do that with many bands, but I think Andy and Colin both write really beautiful songs. I think that they're very talented people, and we actually had the pleasure of meeting them once. It was before they didn't know who we were. We didn't even have a band yet, I don't think. But they're really nice people and really great, and I wish them all the success. I hope they just keep it going and stay together.
What do you listen late at night while you're smoking your pot and you have your headphones on?
Fortunately, I don't smoke a lot of pot, but it changes, drastically week to week. There's a band from San Francisco called American Music Club that just released their first major release. They've had other albums on independent record companies, but they share a rehearsal space with us. But I've been a fan of this band for so long.
Is that right?
Yeah, and when a band's been around for a long time, they release these records that you love, and then they get signed to the major, and they have a big-time producer, and then it sucks. well, they did all those things except they made, in my opinion, the best album that they ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that they're fantastic. You know, the lead singer and the songwriter of the band, Mark Eitzel, completely has my number. You know, he just starts to sing, and he starts to sing these words, and the way he sings, and he can make me weep. He totally has got my number. I mean, somebody who can crack you up just by looking at you, you know. Mark's got me. I mean, every way. He just totally kills me. So, the American Music Club is definitely happening.
I see. I have a CD of theirs sitting in front of me that I've listened to a couple of times, and it was a little catchy, but I'm still waiting to latch on to. It's called Engine, I guess?
Oh, yeah. I think the new one is called Rise, I think.
Rise.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a note of that there. The fellow, again, the guy that put together the questions here, I guess saw you guys in San Francisco with Sune and Knife.
Uh-huh.
He wants to know what exactly you've been doing since that time.
Oh, boy. Since then, we did a short kind of West Coast tour just around California, and then we kind of made our way to Texas, and then from Texas, we went off to... we went to Germany, and we went to Berlin and Germany and Sweden and Holland, and did a tour of the UK as well, all of which went really well. I was very surprised at how smoothly it went and how many people were showing up to the shows. And then we've got 2 days off, all of 2 days off, and then we began an American tour in New York, and have been heading west. And right now, where am I? Where am I? I am in St. Louis. I'm in St. Louis, losing my mind. So we're just making our way west, and eventually we're going to end up over there.
You said you went to the UK, and I guess Ghost at #1 actually charted in the UK. Was that the only single that came out there?
So far. So far. Yeah.
And how did that do?
I think it did okay. I don't think it blew anybody away, but I didn't really expect it to. I think that it was it's meant to kind of tell people, oh, there's a new record out, and because I think they really think that New Mistake is going to be the one that really works in that marketplace, and that will be the next single to be released. And we've done another thing that happened with us with the Ghost single was we did this video, and it was the first video that we had ever done where we actually listened to the record company. They said, the problem with your guys' videos is this. And they rattled off some things, and we went, well, that said, all of our videos have been really successful, and MTV has played them all over all the time. Well, that said, we think that what's wrong is this, and so we said, okay, we're dumb musicians, okay, we'll do it. So we chose this director who we kind of felt like we were being pressured to choose, and we made this really terrible video that we didn't like, and we didn't feel like it was a part of us at all. And a big part of the video was Roger riding this motorcycle with a sidecar, and I was in the sidecar. Okay, and then there was this other guy playing a rock star who drives this limousine into this rock. Okay, it was a giant money. Money was just being burnt on this thing. There was like helicopters involved. So the whole time I'm thinking, Europe is never going to play this video. They just won't play the video because I knew from being there that they wouldn't show a motorcycle or people on a motorcycle without a helmet. I knew that this guy that was crashing into this wall wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And I kept bringing things like this up, and there was a scene where the guy was injecting a needle into his leg, and I was just thinking, I kept bringing it up, and everybody said, "Oh no, I'm sure they know what they're doing. They're the record company. they're the video company. They're whatever, And so, lo and behold, we finished this exorbitant amount of money we spent on this video, and lo and behold, Europe can't play the video.